What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back to Knicks Deli. I am your host. I am the owner of Knicks Deli. My name is Sheer. And you already know we are first to many and second to no one when covering the news, team views, and the who's who connected to our New York Knicks. If you're joining me for the first time here at Knicks Deli, I want to tell you to come on in. Everybody eats. Everybody eats here at Knicks Deli. But I want to welcome you. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so that you know anytime we drop in new content or new videos. Now, if you're returning to the channel, my SP community, you already know what it is. Welcome back. Let's go, baby. Knicks Deli, order up. All right, now you know you can't have those people who won't follow your channel just because they're a fan. If you don't have those people who are not, and they are the ops.
You're mad, I'm back, big mad.
And I'm letting you know we circling the block and we see you. But friend or foe, we want to smoke.
Big hater, you nothing but a hater, cloud chaser.
So if you're a fan of NBA basketball, you're welcome here as well. Order up, we serve you too. Interesting topic that I wanted to cover today here on Knicks Deli. I wanted to talk about Adam Silver's pivot as he has now set his sights on New York's rising star. But I want to talk about it in a unique way. With LeBron James's recent struggles to make the NBA playoffs and his team's embarrassing sweep by the soon-to-be NBA champion, the Denver Nuggets, commissioner of Gotham City. Okay, I'll stop with the Batman references, or maybe not. Adam Silver had to have a bitter taste in his mouth when he woke up that morning.
Oh man, this coffee tastes like dirt.
The way I see it, the way I imagine it, is that he hopped on YouTube, of course checking out Knicks Deli, and he was stunned to see his torchbearer LeBron James contemplating retirement was the headline in newspapers and on YouTube videos. And I know that had to send a shock through the NBA Illuminati. Now, of course, we know this was a diva move. This was a narrative control mind trick by the NBA's drama kid. But shortly thereafter, Silver would continue to scroll up as he's looking on the YouTube videos. He continued to scroll up, only to see that his hopeful heir to the throne, Ja Morant, was out there showing guns. And his other hopeful, Zion Williamson, was out there clapping buns and clapping buns. The NBA Illuminati had to call an emergency meeting to the Batcave. Okay? But say what you will about LeBron James. He has carried the NBA torch during his time admirably. Of course, he had to do it his generation's way. A little bit soft, but still effective. Okay? He studied the game of his predecessors. And you got to get a man credit for that. He identified how he would add his name to the NBA lore. And he did that flawlessly. If you can think about the image of the NBA superstar, face of the league. If you think about title acquisitions, you know that matters when you're considering where you stand in NBA history. You also got to think about the record books. Where does he sit in the record books when his career is said and done? That has to be thought about. And finally, financials. Do you have billionaire status? And that's a major flex that he got that a lot of other superstars or former face of the leagues, they don't necessarily have. So job well done, King James. But back to Commissioner Silver. Commissioner Silver couldn't have dreamed of a greater gift that was left to him by the former commissioner David Stern to lead the NBA into the next new era. Couldn't have imagined a greater gift. With LeBron James leading the way, Adam Silver's league was on autopilot as other stars began to emerge, and the NBA once again ushered in 2 decades of transformational basketball. There were also other GOATs during that time of LeBron James's reign who disrupted, actually, the Drama King's reign. We got to look at the Timmy GOAT and the Curry GOAT, okay? Both of them collectively waved the Matumbo finger and would be able to boast as brashly about their dominance over this king as the post-retirement Isaiah Thomas has been able to brashly boast about his dominance over the previous king, Michael Jordan. So now that the sun is beginning to set on these GOATs era, the NBA is now faced with a dilemma that they've rarely been faced with over the last 40 years. And that dilemma is who's next? What will be the NBA's identity over the course of the next 20 years? Who's next? Now, if we rewind 3 years, Commissioner Adam Silver would have laughed in your face. He would have scoffed in the faces of the doubters if someone would have even had the gall to ask him this question. What better place do you go to have your prayers answered than Zion? Or who better to send your prayers to and expect to have them answered than Ja? So Adam Silver hit the marketing and he hit the talent jackpot. Both of these potential superstars were delivered in the same draft class.
Sensational.
Zion Williamson brought dominance. He brought athleticism and a scoring ability that would only be found if you had Shaq and Charles Barkley and they both combined to have a baby.
Pause.
That also explains the appetite. Or if you had John Morant, you think about John Morant's meteoric rise and the potential that rivaled that of Allen Iverson, Derrick Rose, and Russell Westbrook, as he quickly went from little fanfare to the number 2 pick, who would show flashes of terrorizing the league for years to come. Now, the NBA Illuminati would never imagine that the Achilles heel for their post-LeBron success plan would be in the form of social media, guns, food, and Zion out of shape, John Morant out of his mind. The NBA is shit out of luck. Okay? The NBA Illuminati would throw up the bat signal and urge the league, we need to pivot. We need to pivot.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
And that they began doing. But how can these recent hits to the image of the league's future, how can it be salvaged? Or should you go in a different direction? So Adam Silver is trying his hardest right now to save John Morant from himself. He's trying his hardest. He's also baffled at why John Morant and Zion Williamson aren't chomping at the bit to inherit a kingdom that they can take their futures into the stratosphere. The NBA Illuminati had realized the best alternative is to pivot and find another way to sell the league until a star emerges. A small part of that plan is to set his sights on Gotham City itself, the mecca of basketball. So he allowed the NBA and its small market pandering approach to disrespect the bubbling excitement and success that has been growing in the league's largest market in basketball throughout this season. A season in which had exceeded all win total predictions, all playoff predictions, had revealed stars and budding stars in the league. The commissioner sat back and watched as the premier free agent pickup revitalized a team and a city, but was overlooked for all-star consideration, overlooked for all NBA consideration, and most improved player consideration. Even after leading his team to a winning record and a playoff series victory, the commissioner sat back and he watched as this big market team forced the NBA Illuminati to add them to more television games throughout the season. Okay? He sat back and he watched as the Knicks' young star would emerge and put forth numbers and impact to secure 6 Man of the Year honors, only to be snubbed by primarily Boston writers who leaned on the excuse he was too valuable because of the game started when their starter went down. And the league, who has catered and pandered to the small market team's complaints, is now forced is now being forced to pay attention to their big market team, who took their small market approach to get back to respectability. As the commissioner continues to champion parity as a means of having balance and fair success, the New York Knicks were the most interesting story all season long. The reemergence of the NBA's biggest market, Gotham City, the mecca of basketball, took place this season. The NBA Illuminati began seeing money signs, dollar signs, and you can see them in their eyes. While you begin seeing envy also giving the side eye, the bombastic side eye, to that big market with the small market teams. You can see the envy in their eyes. This was most evident in a recent announcement of the commissioner to add Jalen Brunson, the New York Knicks' star guard. And they even added Brooklyn Nets budding star and friend of Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, to the FIBA roster, the FIBA roster. Okay? Now, why is this important? This is relevant because of this. Everyone knows the seismic shift of the NBA over the past 20 years was as a result of stars playing on the same team, whether it was in all-star games or in international play. Everybody knows this. It's here that teams have the opportunity, players from other teams have the opportunity to see each other's work, their work ethic, their processes, the style of play, to get an opportunity to see this up close, to get an opportunity to measure how their style of play could mesh with another star's style of play. And they also have an opportunity to ponder future moves in an atmosphere that is not only purposeful as a collective, but legal to have these conversations. Okay? Now, history is shown, whether you're looking at KD and Kyrie, or you're looking at LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony at that time, even though ultimately it was Bosh that would help them form the Big Three in Miami. Even the Dream Team back in the day would all have impact stars whose future moves and decisions were based on conversations held during the Dream Team era. So, to select Jalen Brunson for this team after his production in his first season within the biggest, most pressurized market is sending a message to other NBA stars and coaches. It's sending an absolutely clear message. What major stars now want to be part of during this next wave of NBA stars who will represent our nation for the next 3 to 5 years. Basically, the message that's being sent is, you see the leadership we've started to secure a point guard for the USA. Now, we start to build out this roster. Now, who out of you stars or you potential stars will we identify and determine to be the next face of the league moving forward? Because you know, if you're selected for international play, you're basically crowned as one of the future faces of the league. So it was a statement that Commissioner Silver identified Jalen Brunson to be the point guard, or one of the point guards to lead Team USA, one of the faces to lead this next era of stars in the league. You have to have seen the impact this season and have to have a sense of foresight that this young man is going to elevate this franchise and force them to be part of the conversation for years to come. This hope is that one day the seeds that are planted on domestic or international soil will bloom in the concrete jungle, will grow in the Mecca, and will be the cornerstone for helping the league grow over the next 20 years. That's the hope. All as a result of a pivot that needed to be made in this post-LeBron era. Am I tripping? What do you think? Leave your comments below, like and subscribe, and check me out for future videos. Knicks Deli, everybody eats.